The OMO auction closed at on the long end at 12.5. The initial lack of OMO throughout the week caused rates originally to drop, with market participants buying on the long end. Drove rates to as low as 11.4. But towards the end of the week, with the OMO auction, we saw market correct back up to the 12 levels.
Now, for the bond auction, according to the note that you put out, there was some profit taken on the mid to long end of the curve, while we saw yield on the shorter end of the curve compressed lower. What can you tell us about that? Shed more light on that for us.
All right. On the bond auction, we saw that there was it was undersubscribed, and even some people that went at higher rates, and those ones happened to lose their bids. So market corrected itself, and those that lost the bids tried to cover from the secondary market, and so that's why we saw the initial bullish trend in the bond market.
Now, when you talk about depressed levels of rates in the T-bills markets, according to your note, I mean, what kind of rates are investors hoping to see, and where rates are, and your forecast for rates going into the new week? Well,
the rates are pretty much dependent on how much mop-up the central bank is going to do in this coming week. We expect there should be a mop-up probably Monday or Tuesday, with FAC just coming in. So there's a lot of liquidity in the system. So we expect that there should be an OMO auction in this coming week. That is going to probably drive rates up. The initial OMO auction of yesterday saw rates. Before then, we saw rates as low as 11, but the correction today has set rates at 12.05 levels. So we expect in the coming week it will probably start from this 12.05 levels and not go any lower.
Now, in the last 2 weeks, I mean, what can you say about the yield curve, the direction that the yield curve has taken?
Well, the direction of the yield curve in the past few weeks, I'd seen a lot of interest in the long-end tenors, with fear of reinvestment of those bills that have originally matured. So we saw a lot of people looking for bills, and that drove rates down, and that's why we have a correction towards the end of this week.
Okay, let's move over now to the FX markets, how the Naira has performed against the dollar this week, 1, and 2, also how you would describe level of supply.
All right, the FX market has been relatively stable this week with ample supply in the system. We've seen rates go between 360 to 360.5 levels. There's a lot of supply in the market, no real demand to take up all the supply, so rates have remained relatively stable around these levels.
Even at the I&E window, any changes, anything unusual as well?
No, the I&E window has been quiet this week, no major demands, and it's been relatively stable with supply meeting demand.
So are you saying that this trend is likely to continue in the new week for
yes.
Naira versus dollar? Same levels of supply and same levels of demand and supply?
Yes, so we expect the levels to continue in this coming week. Yeah, we've seen supply and demand in the previous week. We expect it to continue to next week.
Okay.
And maybe with more OMO insurance, we probably would see a bit more interest in a bit more supply in the market.
All right, Deinma, thank you for talking to us today. We appreciate your time.
All right.
Deinma Iyagba, currency trader at UBA.